Hey guys, when you woke up this morning, how did you feel? Did you feel like your head was in a negative space? You felt like today's another day you can't accomplish something, or whatever goals and aspirations and dreams you have are just out of your reach? Today we're going to be talking about confidence and how important self-talk is in order to build up your confidence and to be able to tell the truth about yourself internally and mentally, and even what you're capable physically. So sit back and relax and enjoy today's episode on the Bump Podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Bump Podcast. I'm your host, Shamir, here with my co-host and beloved brother, Nabil.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us yet again here on our show.
Another amazing episode of the Bump Podcast. Can't believe we're here again.
Here we are.
Love it. Thank God for another day. We are blessed.
Yeah.
Thank you all for supporting. Thank you for commenting, for liking, and subscribing. We need a whole lot of that. And
yes.
Turn on the ringle dingle dingle whenever possible.
Don't forget.
Yes, please. Thank you for all the support on all our social platforms. We love you guys.
Definitely.
As Nabil said in the intro earlier, we are going to be talking about confidence today.
Yeah. Something that's very lackluster in today's society.
It really is. I don't want to say that maybe women lack more confidence than men, because there's a lot of men that I know out there that really lack confidence too.
100%.
So I think we should dive in it and just explore different aspects of
people from all walks of
confidence.
life, I feel like, lack confidence.
Yeah, I've lacked confidence before. You know, I think so.
We all have, man. I don't care who you are or where you're from.
Yeah, but let's get into the vocabulary of it.
According to the dictionary, I almost said encyclopedia. Oh, wow. According to the dictionary, confidence is the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something. Firm trust. The way the entire system works in the school systems, the way, once we get to a certain age that we have to work, we're not really disciplined in that specific area.
Right.
On how to have confidence in ourselves, yes, in others as well, but the ability to be able to do things that might seem too big for us to accomplish, yet other people have accomplished it. We're so easy to just go into the opposite direction and say, I'm not capable of becoming an actor, a music artist, or a model, or an engineer, or a doctor, or whatever, because of, sometimes it could be just how far you have to go in order to reach it. Meaning,
right.
If for any of you guys who go to school and go to college, sometimes you have to dedicate 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 years of study to get the degree and requirements that you need in order to finally be able to do that.
Right.
And even still, sometimes people do that and they still don't get it. Right. Or you want to be a manager of a supermarket or own your own business, and you're just like, I have to climb all these, this long ladder in order to be able to do that. Like, I don't see it. I'm just not into it. And then some people never fulfill their purpose in life because of that. Yeah. And I feel like if on this platform we can change even one person, that'll make our hearts soar, because we are all capable of doing different things. We all have a particular calling in this world. So first off, you need to kind of find out what that is through prayer, through meditation, through having the right group of people around you.
Life experiences as a whole.
Most definitely.
I think, like, as a parent now, something that I've learned through seeing different people, how they raise their kids, and my own life experiences, is that there are certain things you need to ingrain in your child at a very young age for them to understand. Like with my son, I always look at him every morning in the mirror and I say, "You're number one," and he's like, "One," And I want him to believe
that's great.
that.
I like that.
Because I do it every morning.
That's
and
awesome.
the reason why I do it is because there's a certain mentality that you have to have. There's a certain path that you have to walk in order to become successful at what you want in life. And you have to believe it and you have to own up to it. I believe to become successful in this society nowadays, your confidence level has to be very strong, that no matter what anybody says on this planet, you're going to succeed. And that's point blank period. This is something I see in the music industry, for example, like a lot of rappers, just to give a good example. They're so money driven, and they're so focused just on making money
and power.
Yeah. But I want to focus on money real quick, because it's a very potent thing as well.
Yeah.
They're so focused on money, and that's it, that if they don't get the bag, they won't go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like they won't feel fulfilled. And that's why a lot of them have became so rich, whether they have talent or not. It's just they're so focused on just doing that they're not satisfied. They're fully confident that they can make the money, as like any other person in the rap game has been able to do so, right? Sure. But the reason why I bring this up is because, like you just said, you need to go 10, 12, 15 years sometimes to become successful in an area, right?
And even longer sometimes.
And even longer, you know, your whole life. And it's like I always bring up LeBron James too. LeBron James probably doesn't know how to do a lot of things, but with his money now, he has people that does it for him. But he's focused on one thing, which is basketball, working out his body, his mind, and all these things. So I feel like people, in order to gain confidence, you have to, like Nabil just said, you have to focus on what are you looking for out of life. What do you want to gain? What do you want to be in life, in order to be like, okay, this is what I want to do. Okay, I have to have this confidence and this focus and this determination in order to be successful in that. There's something that I wanted to add on to the confidence, which is there's different factors of confidence levels. You know, confidence you have in yourself. You know, self-confidence, which is trust in oneself. Self-confidence involves a positive belief that one can generally accomplish what one wishes to do in the future. Self-confidence is not the same as self-esteem. Correct. Which is an evaluation of one's worth. Self-confidence is related to self-efficacy. Right. Belief in one's ability to accomplish a specific task or goal. The reason why I brought this up is because the Dunning-Kruger effect. Why do I bring this up, Shamir? The Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias that causes people to overestimate their abilities and knowledge in a particular area. So these are all factors that are components as we think and we gain confidence. These are things that occur as well. You know, I have overestimated a lot of things in my life. I could say, hey, I got good fight game. And then when I fight someone, bam, I get my ass beat. Or, hey, I'm a basketball player. When I play basketball, I'm decent, but there's better players out there than me. So you also need to be realistic with yourself when it comes to confidence and who you are and your abilities. Because if you don't, the confidence level, it means it's too high. No. And you need to bring it down a bit and be realistic with yourself. So I wanted to bring that up today because I see that a lot in society nowadays. I feel like social media has damaged a lot of the human's thought process. Hardcore. And it's because humans have been the ones to create the social media platforms and to create a lot of facade and fake things that don't really occur. And be like, hey, this.
I mean, it's kind of like Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood makes it seem like everybody's, you know, living the glamorous life and all that stuff. When in reality, every single one of those people are going through a lot of trials and tribulations. Yeah. There's a really dope song that I like to listen to called "Keeping It Real" by Shaggy. Remember that? It was on the soundtrack of Holes, the Disney movie. Second song in the soundtrack. If you haven't heard it, give it a listen. It's got such a great message. But I'm trying to remember the lyrics. There's a part where it basically says, you know, you could basically have it all, but it's, let me see. Having more is really less. Right. Right. And so, you know, sometimes it is a blessing to live in that kind of poor middle class area, because when you have too much, it's pretty much empty stuff, because all you can really utilize it for is money. You know, you can't buy love with money. You can't buy happiness with money.
I think a big one when it comes to Hollywood and money is I feel like a lot of people's confidence nowadays is with having wealth.
wealth, and also like a whole bunch of followers on the social media platforms, like you mentioned, and all that other stuff. But it only lasts for so long, right? It's just kind of like when you have that dopamine in whatever fashion that, you know, that works for every single one of you listening or watching. And then it's just that adrenaline rush is like there for 5 seconds and you're done. And then you're just like, okay, so now what's going to fulfill me? I have a couple of kind of related scripture verses where it talks about confidence, not just in yourself, but in God, and why. You know, God confidence means I look to him first and not myself, right? So for me, every single morning, what I first start to do, as many of you have watched or heard, is that I'll pray. I'll wake up and I'll pray. And then, you know, I'll dive into scripture in whichever capacity that might be, whether it's the Bible app, whether it's actually in the Bible, that I'm searching for specific things. The most beautiful thing I've been able to find in my Bible studies is the different people you can relate to, whether it is the disciples, whether it's, you know, different figures throughout the Old and New Testaments within scripture of how they've struggled, how they've messed up, and yet God still uses them in a beautiful way to be able to get his whole purpose across. I mean, he's used literally tax collectors, former murderers, prostitutes, things that the world would be like, I thought this God of yours is supposed to like be big and holy and, you know, perfect and will only utilize perfect people. No. He uses us broken people in order to be able to accomplish like whatever goals he has for the bigger picture of things, for our lives and whatnot. And to be able to look at him first, to be able to build my confidence, meaning different verses that'll express his love towards us, express truth about us, how we were created in his image. So that means we're loved uniquely, we're chosen for a specific purpose, to be able to bless many people around us, especially people when we don't agree on something, things like that. So different verses that kind of ties into the confidence. Hebrews 11:1, which says it means he fuels my faith, he quenches my fears. Psalms 27 verse 1, and he alone stands unshakable. Matthew 7:25. Characters like Daniel goes through this whole confidence situation. You guys would have to look it up because obviously we don't have that time to dive into it. But Daniel goes through a lot, and he eventually has either to make the choice, have confidence that God will get him out through the situation he's in, or he's gonna die. Hebrews 10:35 through 36 says, "Don't throw away your confidence; it will be richly rewarded." Again, you have the capability to do anything. If you woke up today, you're able to do things that perhaps you weren't able to accomplish today. You got a good night's rest, hopefully, and you're here. You know, you're not 6 feet under, so you're able to do anything. You just have to put in the work, the discipline, like you mentioned, LeBron James. Like, LeBron isn't LeBron overnight. That man's been working his butt off for many, 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 many years, and probably the way he was raised is exactly why he is the man that he is today. Yeah. And so is the people around him. Hebrews 13:6 says, So we say with confidence, the Lord is my helper. I will not be afraid. What can mere mortals do to me? So that's just some food for thought for you guys. We have to be able to, and we've talked about this on multiple episodes, we have to be able to speak positive affirmations to ourselves every single day and freaking believe it. You're going to be able to do that by disciplining yourself. So if he is constantly with my nephew every single morning, looking in the mirror saying, "You're number one," you're going to believe it. And not in a cocky sense, but you're going to believe it as in, yes, I am able to do anything that I set my mind to. Will it take time? Sure. Will I have to fail and stumble and fall on my face? Mm-hmm. Yeah, most likely. But to be able to do that every single day and start at a young age, you know, he's only one, and he's if he's being disciplined like this by my brother and his girlfriend, I mean, he's going to be able to do things that we weren't necessarily able to do because we weren't taught it. Right. Not to say that our parents didn't teach us good and positive things, they did, But things that we're figuring out now, I don't think they've ever figured it out.
Yeah, of course. And that's one of the main things. It's like, I think every generation that has gone by has always been like, okay, because, 5-10 generations back, 1800s, 1700s to this way.
Right.
I believe that every generation has said, I am not going to put my kids through what my parents put me through, what my grandparents put me through, whoever raised me put me through.
Yeah.
And that has obviously been an evolution in humanity to the point where it's like, it's dropped a lot of our past generations' confidence, or they have just believed a lie of, this is what you're raised in, this is what you're going to be for the rest of your life. And just so many factors that as time has gone by has developed into different things. You get what I'm saying? And I feel that in my case, in our case, yes, we weren't taught a lot of things, but the things that I've learned and come to comprehend is like, yes, I'm going to teach all the good morals and good things that my parents taught me, but I am going to include a lot of things that our parents never showed us, to make it easier on him in the mental portion of like, okay, well, like we said in a prior podcast, like, you're not going to do this because I said so. That's not the way to go about things.
Correct.
It's like, explain why this isn't the way to go or the things to do. When you say, okay, you're number one, Dad, why are you this is something I've already thought. When the day he asked me, hey, Dad, why do you always say that I'm
why do we do
one?
this every day, for example?
Why? Well, because you need to have that confidence. You need to believe in yourself. You need to understand that your worst enemy is yourself.
Yeah.
And your best friend is yourself. You get what I'm saying? So if you feed yourself positive things at all times, then you will be a positive person. If you're always thinking negative, how many pessimistic people have we met in our lives? Because we come from,
and that negativity rubs off on you. So if you're a confident person, sooner or later that confidence is going to rub off on people too.
A lot of people have told me in the past, like, now that I've become more successful and progressed, and I stopped talking to them, they're like, you've become a different person. It's like, well, this is something
different person because you're no longer around them.
Yeah, because I'm not in the pessimistic lifestyle that they're living in. So then it leads me to a song that Jay-Z one time, he said in one of the songs, he's like, people say that you change, but people are the ones that change, right? And the reason why he says that is because if you're trying to be successful and leaving these people behind that are not, and if these people are not trying to be as successful as you, that means you can't be around these people when it comes to your successful part of life, right? But then I'm just like, okay, if I have pessimistic people that they're always complaining about the system, because that's another thing too. A lot of people that live off the government, nothing against these people, but some people were even born on families that live off the government, Section 8, whatever. Respect to all those people out there, but that doesn't mean that the government is supposed, like, why do you think as a person that you are entitled to anything in life?
No, we're not. We don't.
Anything. You're entitled to wake up every day, be blessed with another day. Not even that. Let's say you're not even entitled to that. But let's say you're blessed to wake up another day. That is another day for you to decide, hey, you know what? I want better than just the government maintaining.
Oh, family, of course. Maintaining me.
And gain that confidence.
Because it does get tiring too. It's like,
well, for some people, they just like it. They don't mind, smoking their little weed here and there, drink their alcohol, and just live off a little monthly check and having someone take care of them, and I understand that, but it's just like, I want more to life.
So much more.
To me, that's like institutionalized, because it's like the same thing. You know how many people I met when I was in prison that were like, they lived out on the street. They're like, hey, I committed an infraction and came to prison because it gets cold out there. So at least here I get 3 meals a day, you get to shower. You know what I'm saying? So some people are just used to the system. But then it's just like, again, it's that mentality that you're just like, well, what do you want out of life? What's your confidence levels? What are you seeking? Are you seeking anything? So then it's just like, you got to decide what you want out of life. And then once you decide that, you're like, okay, these are the type of people I need around myself. Okay, so now you got to surround yourself by those same confident people, or you're going to stay around the same negative people that ain't doing nothing with their life. that's why I've chosen my own path, and a lot of people know it that know me. I've literally pushed away a lot of people, not in a negative way. I just don't talk to them because it's just like, if I'm going to sit down for an hour to listen to you just bicker, complain, and not do anything about it.
Yeah, it just
we have nothing to talk about. Listen, right now I have an hour and a half to come here and do this podcast and do something beneficial, not just for us two, but for everybody that is listening to, spread something good in society, as opposed to, again, listen to somebody bigger over the phone or just complain and hate life and just, this is all happening. Bro, listen, I had a lot of negative things against me, and I've been able to overcome them. How?
By doing something about it.
And doing something about it, which is the most important one. Mm-hmm. I decided to change. I don't want to be around the same negative thing. I don't want to live in the hood all my life. I don't want to do all these things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we could even go back to certain rappers too. They came out the hood, came out the mud. But why they came out of it? Because they were sick and tired of living that poverty. It's the same movement every day. Mm-hmm. I want to go out, see the world. There's so many beautiful things. I just saw yesterday that Switzerland is voted in 2024 the most beautiful place to go visit in the world.
Let's go to Switzerland then.
I want to go to Switzerland. How is Shamir and the Bill going to do that? Well, they got to work hard to go to Switzerland.
Really hard.
At least for a week or 2 weeks, whatever. But you get my point. And I have confidence that will occur at some point. Now, my point is that we need to focus on our confidence. I've had times where I've been very unconfident about my abilities to succeed, to progress, to just move forward in general. Mm-hmm. But I've gained confidence through my struggles, through the situations that I've been through in my life. There was one point where I was like, man, the way I saw prison and everything going on, then when COVID-19 hit and all these things, I'm like, bro, like, we are going to go crazy here. And, am I even going to make it out of here? Am I going to hurt someone and catch more time? Or are these things going to happen? Because it's just like everything was just drowning.
Right.
When you got to sink that's drowning, when you're on the Titanic, you see, there's one thing being on the lifeboat at a distance, watching the Titanic sink, and being on the Titanic while it's sinking. You get what I'm saying?
Seeing that most likely you might not make it. Your confidence,
regardless, is sinking too, because you're just like, my expectancy of actually surviving this right now, my what do they call it? The chances of actually surviving is really low, you see. And what I'm trying to say, I'm using this as a metaphor, is like, when everything is against you in your life, where's your confidence levels? When everything is not in your favor, what are we, what I'm saying? What are we going to do? Are we going to keep drowning for confidence, or are we going to keep believing and having faith, whether if it's in God or in yourself, in order to...
It's got to be both. You got to balance it out.
But I mean, for those that don't believe, that's why I'm saying it regardless. But you get what I'm saying. Like, what are we going to do? Are we going to drown in the abyss, or are we going to continue to at least believe that, man, tomorrow might be a brighter day, or this will work in my favor in due time?
I really want people, I want to challenge people, anybody who's watching or listening, to be able to, if you're not feeling confident in yourself today, to get a good night's rest. Just try to get your 5 to 8 hours of sleep, whatever you can, and when you wake up, start working on that confidence. Meaning, like, stand in front of that bathroom mirror or your bedroom mirror and start saying to yourself positive affirmations. I am handsome, I am beautiful, I am strong, I am capable, I am able to do anything that I set my mind to. Will it take time? Yes. It's all the best things that we can accomplish while being alive is going to take years. But if we're willing to literally live our day, not by like, it's going to take me 5 years, 10 years, 20 years to do this, just do it day by day.
Yeah, and maybe it won't even take that long. You see, that's another thing we've said in prior podcasts. I remember saying it in one where it's like, don't determine your outcomes on everybody else's outcomes. You don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, or what your abilities might bring to the table, because sometimes you might be an elite, which is better than everybody in whatever class or division or whatever you're trying to do in life, whatever career path you're taking. And that alone should bring a huge confidence level to your mentality, because you're like, okay, well, I'm creating my own path. I'm creating my own things, my own way, my own analogies, my own theories, whatever, you know. And at the end of the day, that's just what's brought a lot of confidence into my life, is like, I'm not going to determine how for example, this is a great example, this podcast, the growth of this podcast. I don't know if tomorrow, let's say we release this podcast this week, right? You know, I have hopes that, hey, this video will go viral.
Right, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? This reel will go viral, and then the video will, and then people start flowing in. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, but what I want you guys to understand is that my confidence level keeps growing on a constant basis, because I'm not focusing on everybody else's podcast and how they've grown, whether they've had a silver or golden spoon handed to them and they have millions of dollars to throw into their podcast and grow it, and then one day they got 1 million followers, or a person that's worked very hard and has already got 1 million followers or subscribers, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I am going based off, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to continue to do it. Let's say, I know it's not going to happen, but let's say Nabil's confidence level goes downhill and he's like, bro, honestly, this podcast has been 2 years. We haven't gotten anything. I'm just going to do my own thing. That's fine. I'm going to continue to roll. Let's say if I drop out the race and Nabil wants to continue. Well, you know what? There's equipment. Keep going. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to discourage him. But at the end of the day, my point is just like, I'm not determining our results of this podcast on anybody's other platforms. I'm determining this by
our
day-to-day, our day-to-day basis, what we going on, what we go through in our lifestyles, because that's what we do, and we talk about it. You know, some people might think these guys are just talking
smack and wasting their time,
and that's perfectly fine. But hey, this is our platform. We do what we want with it, and whether you respect it or not, we're gonna respect everybody's thought process and what they think. And at the end of the day,
I think for me personally, my confidence builder in terms of this podcast, if we want to talk about it, is literally just doing it every single week. The fact that we're sticking with it, the fact that we're doing it, you know, it's and of course the fact that when we come across people that we know, maybe we haven't seen in a while or whatever, and they're just like, man, you guys are doing great work. You guys, whatever it is you guys are saying, it's so good and it's true and I love it. That just fills me up.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? That makes me so happy. Even people like, wow, the audio equipment it sounds amazing, or all this back here looks great. Like, it's just nice. So I think we're on the right path, and it might take a while, but that's exactly what he was saying, where we just have to build this up one day at a time. We can't worry about it. Unfortunately, we live in a world where they have taught us how to, you know, milk you and just, you know, burn you out essentially, and then once you're burnt out, you still got to keep going, and then whatever you didn't finish today, well, you better make sure that you finish it like first thing in the morning and keep it going until there's just nothing left. I don't agree with that. That's exactly what our previous job did. Never want to go back to that type of job ever again, because all of it really is just in vain, and it's not something that we strive to do in terms of career. It's not the type of environment that is healthy at all, and it's done a lot of damage to not just us, but to so many people. I was literally talking to one of our coworkers just yesterday, and they were telling me how they're feeling lately and how empty they're feeling, like there's just no end to it. And I'm just like, okay, so what are you going to do about it? Like, you're young, you're strong, you're able to do so much. So what are you going to do in order to be able to move forward? And they're like, well, I'm going to, you know, take my time and keep going and da-da-da. I'm like, that's great and everything, but you got to come up with a game plan so that you can set yourself up for success, whether it's finding a job. And then if they accept you, you can put your 2 weeks and bounce. And with the experience you've gained, you'll be able to have some cool opportunities, hopefully. And, you know, make sure that the next place you go will actually allow you to be able to have this new sense of gratitude for the things you've accomplished and all of that stuff. I realized the other day when I was at my new job that I still have scars from that previous job. So being around people sometimes gets me anxious. Sometimes it gets me, it makes me feel like a lack of confidence. Like I'm maybe not going to be able to interact with people the way I would like to, meaning being loving and being respectful and all that stuff, because of the scars that I had to deal with in the previous job. Again, the previous job, and he could tell you, it literally felt like prison to me, and I was never locked up. But that's just how I felt. Where like
There's
if
a
somebody,
lot of similarities though, as from a prison environment to there.
I feel like sometimes when I get into my anxious feelings and I start feeling like a lack of confidence, stuff like that, I feel like if somebody does something so wrong, it's going to trigger me to do something really bad.
Right.
Whether it's decking you in the face or saying something I shouldn't have said that I'll regret later. That's why it's super important to, again, get into a discipline and a mindset of building up your confidence every single day. I think something too, and I know you'll back this up, something too that'll help you with your confidence is reading, right? Reading different books that'll be able to really start giving you some ideas, maybe even some a type of exercise to be able to start practicing the confidence, whether it's, let's say the book gives you like a whole paragraph of, confidence building tools, and then it'll like maybe have a couple of, question and answer problems that you can start working, and it'll start making you thinking, well, where are the areas in my life that I'm feeling a lack of confidence? And then you write them down. Now you're seeing them and visualizing them, and then you're like, oh, okay, well now I can work on this and stuff like that. I'm always going to say the Bible for sure, because that's what's worked out for me and whatnot. There's certain Bibles out there that actually has like these particular questions, and then you're able to answer on the side of it. Also some explanations of different verses and stuff like that too, which I need because I just don't understand sometimes. Other books, there's a really good one that's How to Talk to Anyone, How to Charm, Banter, Attract, and Captivate. All these books, by the way, you can find on like Amazon, Audible, Barnes & Noble. We like to go to Barnes & Noble. It's just something about walking into that particular store.
Book smell and
there's
the
that
French
too.
roast of Starbucks. Delightful.
It's just a really nice environment to go into. It's just so peaceful.
And we got a 2-story Barnes & Noble's over here on our side of town.
Yeah. It's nice. It's so nice. And it's not like in the most glamorous of places, but that particular location is really good. Why do I mention these things? Because it's a powerful tool. If you could see Shamir's bookshelf that he has here between him and his girlfriend, they have a lot of good books that they've been able to read. I don't know if you've finished them, but
some of them up there are finished. Some of them are not.
Yeah.
I'm currently reading that stack over there. That's, if you know,
there you go. He's got like 5. Yeah, he's got like 5 books there, 6 in the stack. Point is, man, listen, not only is reading gonna again give you the tools that I mentioned earlier, but also it's just gonna open up your mind. I don't know, it's gonna allow you to speak better, present yourself in a unique way. You're gonna seem like a smarter person instead of being the dumb one in the room.
Also, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, you can.
Toastmasters International, this is speaking it's like a speaking class. It's actually free. Some clubs actually have a subscription, but it's all nationwide, all through the 50 states. They actually had a course in prison that I took.
Really?
Yes, that's how I found out about them. And then they
what is it, Toastmaster?
Yeah, Toastmasters International. And they show you how to speak, how to publicly speak, do TED Talks, all that stuff.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
So it definitely boosts your confidence when it comes to talking to people. Again, confidence has different factors, so we're bringing up a couple different ones, but I just wanted to mention that because that's actually a good one that I've taken. I've looked into a few clubs in town. I just haven't attended because I haven't made the time, but it's definitely, I've literally, like last month I had it on my tabs on my phone on the Safari internet search,
right?
Because there's a few in town, but I haven't gone yet. But I definitely want to continue.
Gotta make the time for that then.
Yeah, because it's really good for when it comes to public speaking and stuff like that. Something
I have to go with you and check that out. I like that.
Yeah, it's a club. They're clubs realistically, but they do them in local libraries, college campuses.
Oh, beautiful!
Everywhere.
I love that.
Yeah. Anyways, proceed. I'm sorry.
Also, Confidence for Dummies. For all you dummies out there, like us included. Yeah. I love the Dummies series. Honestly, it's so funny. You got one? Look at that. Yeah, Shamir's got one. They got two.
There's two in there. There's one behind over there too.
My very first Dummy series book was ASVAB for Dummies. If you ever joined the military, you know what that's all about.
I had a terrible experience for the ASVAB.
Did you?
You don't remember?
No.
I'll share it real quick. Anyways, there's one day, my very long time ex-girlfriend, we thought she was pregnant. So I was like, well, I got to go to the military. This was back in high school. So we went to go do this. Talk about dropping your confidence in society.
Wait. So she thought you got her pregnant?
Yes.
Oh, I don't remember this part.
The pregnancy test yet or anything, but she had lost her period or anything. But anyways, real quick. So I went to go take the test for the ASVAB. We went to this college campus over there where you were going to do that acting school.
Yes. Yes.
Over there by International Drive. Anyways, so it was a college campus over there. And
Film Academy.
Yeah. So then the thing is that we go there and they had us in tables of 4, and this one guy just literally says, I can't find my wallet. And then he points his finger at me and says, I think he took my wallet. Long story short.
This was before your thugging days?
Way before, yes. This is like 2010 or 11.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't fully into the streets like that at all yet. But anyways, the thing is that they arrest me. They take me into this private room in the college campus. The officers pat me down. They're like, yeah, this guy doesn't have the wallet. They looked at the cameras. Yeah, dude, you've been sitting down on your seat. Hey, you're good to go. So then, bam. So imagine having this all go down. They put you in handcuffs and everything. Then you go into the ASVAB to take the test. I failed terribly.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? The military is not for me. Thank you.
I took it twice. I took it the first time in Puerto Rico with Jeffrey to get into the National Guard, and I think I failed by 1 point, and I think he passed but decided not to go in. Something like that happened. So I was like, all right, whatever. We moved from Puerto Rico here in 2010, and I was studying for the ASVAB. That's when they were like, oh yeah, get the ASVAB for Dummies at Barnes and Noble. So I
remember that we went Plaza de America. Barnes and Noble's over there.
Was it over there that I got it? I thought I got it over here, but okay, yeah. So we got it. I studied it. Came over here and whatever. Went to the what do they call it? The recruitment place center, or whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know where that's at Fashion Square Mall.
Yeah,
like in that plaza or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, most of you guys don't know where I'm talking about, but anyway, studied for it, and then the day I was supposed to take it, I think I told Mom, I'm like, I just don't want to get into the military. Forget that. Like, thank you for all who have served our country, but just it was not for me. I'm so
happy I didn't serve this country.
I just did not want to go through with it. It just wasn't for me. Like, it never drew my attention like that. The only reason I was even trying to get in was because of some of the benefits, and I just was like, I don't want to go through hell just to get certain benefits that I may or may not even take advantage of. Yeah. So it just wasn't for me. Like, I've always wanted to pursue acting and production and all that stuff. So yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But the Dummy series, yes, definitely get the confidence one for Dummies. Again, you've seen the Dummy books, and if you haven't, like, they're pretty thick. So
they're not really in depth of like that I must say, from the ones that I have read from front to back. They're very basic. But it
gets you started.
Yeah, it gets you started. If you want to start a book, that's the way to go. If you want something more complex where it actually gets into some of the other books detail, that I mentioned, yeah, you should definitely invest. Because if I'm going to pay $20, $25 for a book, I prefer getting into something that's going to give me good quality.
No doubt.
But I mean, for those that just want to get their feet wet, and it's very basic grammar. It doesn't have like very complex words.
Yeah,
it's not very tough grammar. Then Dummies is probably for you.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to add?
No, I'm ready to go for today. But no, you're good.
We're gonna leave you guys with a couple of quotes here, just so you can keep it in mind, tattooed in your forehead, your heart, wherever it is you want to keep it. The quoter. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Take that really in. No one can make you inferior without your consent.
Love it.
And a lot of people like to do that, and when you feel it, it hurts and it triggers you to either feel ticked off, sad, some people get suicidal, all of that stuff. Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. Treat yourself no more than you think you do. Self-confidence is the first requisite to great undertakings. It is the key to achieving great heights in life. Mm-hmm. Confidence is contagious. When you act confident, you will start feeling more confident, and others will perceive you as a confident and competent person. For sure. And that's the truth. You have to expect things of yourself before you can do them. This is from the great not late. God rest, God keep him alive for many years, but it was from Michael Jordan. He said that particular one. Your success will be determined by your own confidence and fortitude. Also, anyone who ever gave you confidence, you owe them a lot, meaning gratitude and appreciation and love, because there are people who build you up to be a very confident person if you let them, if you're willing to be teachable. Because a lot of people are hard-headed and they don't want to be taught nowadays. They think they know it all.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And that's their confidence boost until they face reality and they're like, oh, wait, I really don't know anything.
Tell them to find a C-score from statistics, and then you'll understand if they know it all or not.
So we're going to leave you guys with that. Some food for thought. Be confident, people.
Always.
By being a confident person, you are able to achieve more than being a person of self-doubt and of saying bad things to yourself. Don't be that person. Okay. We are all capable to do amazing and great things.
Always.
Again, surround yourself with the right people. Self-talk. I listen. I know people that have written, Bible scriptures and positive messages, and have left it in their bathroom mirrors, like on a sticky note.
I was so sorry, dude. I thought you were saying I know people that have read Bible, that have wrote Bible scriptures. I'm like, have you gone that back in time? But then you said
no. I don't know those people.
Like, whoa.
It's like Shamir was on something without being on something.
I was just like, dude, whoa. But then
how do you know those people?
They put them on the wall or on the mirror. Yeah, for sure. No, that's cool. Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah, and that's just a way to remind yourself every single day. Not necessarily when you just wake up, but like every time you pass by or whatever, you see it and you're just like, oh, okay, that's right. Yeah. I got to keep telling this myself and believe it. And you will walk as a more healthier, happier, joyful human being, ready to conquer all. So we're going to leave you with that. Yes. Where can people follow us?
Man, everywhere.
Well,
every important
I don't want any
platform,
stalkers.
Actually, every social platform that's important.
Yes.
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It's always down below. We thank you guys for the support. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. We need that YouTube to go up. We want to bring the merchandise little store under YouTube, but if we don't have at least 1,000 subscribers, we don't have a store.
Correct.
But we are creating a store for the other social platforms that we could put on, and you guys could buy some merch on there. I've definitely been working on that. It's just a lot to do because we want to put a lot of cool little knickknacks, shirts, and good merch. Coffee mugs, to say the least. And so you guys could support us so we could continue to bring this podcast to a whole nother level. So yeah, guys,
I'd love to take this podcast everywhere, like go to different cons or something like that, do panels and everything. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
But we can't do it without all of you listening and watching.
Exactly. And soon we will be starting to do giveaways in order to bring more subscriptions to our channel. So we'll be talking about that very soon. Giving out whether gift cards, cash, or something. Just
giving out cash. I need cash.
Well, then you got to like, comment, and subscribe. and
I already have
3 people.
Oh, okay.
You see what I did there? But we'll talk more about that in very future episodes that we'll be bringing. I'll talk to Nabil about it so we can get something going for you guys. So someone can make $1 or $2.
You know what I'm saying?
Anyways, we love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. It'll be until next time. See y'all. See
you later. Have a great week.